Welcome. We are the Alliance of Indigenous Math Circles. It's very our pleasure to be here. Our organization actually started here in New Mexico. We have branched out to California, so you'll hear all about who we are and what we do now. So welcome to our workshop, and we hope that you guys have a lot of fun. And it is very interactive, so we want you guys to play today.
We're going to give you a little introduction to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm James Taylor.
And I'm Donna Fernandez, and I'll introduce yourself in my language also. So Hecate Mahwikten, Donna Fernandez Aylumbuk. I'm from California, so I'm Pomo from Northern California, and that's where I am now currently at. So I'm back home in Santa Rosa, California. So Santa Rosa, California, not Santa Rosa, New Mexico. I always thought that was interesting. You guys had it in Santa Rosa here too. So. I currently teach at Pioneer High School in Northern California. I teach integrated Math 1 and Math 2, and but I've been I taught at Navajo Preparatory School for 10 years, so I was in New Mexico here for 18 years. So I'm so happy to be back, and I was telling Shandina, she got me out of class today, so so good. I turned my weekend from a 3-day weekend into a 4-day weekend, so this is very nice to be back. Okay, so the Alliance of Indigenous Math Circles, we have a mission, and our mission is to do exactly what we're doing here today, which is we really want to partner with teachers and organizations and after-school programs to create a community of mathematicians. And our focus is that we are helping provide and create mathematical opportunities for our Indigenous youth who to see themselves as mathematicians. And it starts in the school. And starts in the classroom, but it gets enhanced through after-school programs like MESA. So, I did forget to say that I was a MESA advisor for a number of years, so that's also why my heart's in MESA too. So I'm glad to be back. And so we do have our directors. We also have regional coordinators. So we are actually spread throughout the United States. Dr. Tatiana Shubin is in California with me. Mark Saul is in New York, Maria is in North Carolina, James is local, Donley and Laverne are also local, both are in Arizona. But why do we do this work? Well, one of the reasons that we know it's so important to do this work is, and I'm going to read this, I know it's long, but I think it's so important to read it. It says, mathematics, like music and poetry, is the birthright of every human. And mathematical talent is spread uniformly among all people. Thus, underrepresentation suggests that Indigenous students' talents remain unrealized because of reasons beyond their control, and not because of a lack of capacity or interest. Moreover, Indigenous people will bring their unique viewpoint and thus will enhance and expand professions. So we really want to address the issue of underrepresentation of our Indigenous students in the mathematics profession. Besides opening many doors to STEM and other professions, mathematics is the best tool for developing logical thinking and training analytical abilities. Not studying math deprives students of an excellent opportunity to build their mental muscles. And one of the things you can see them doing there is they're definitely building their mental muscles through a very fun, engaging activity of trying to get themselves out of that knot. And that's one of the favorite activities at our math camp. So you'll hear more about that. Okay.
So, no one in here has played SET, am I right? You have.
Okay.
Awesome. But the rest of you haven't, this is new to you?
Yeah. Yay.
Wow.
I forgot.
You forgot everything?
Yes.
So SET has been around a long time. I'll go into more detail on another slide, but it's a card game. It was invented by a scientist here in New Mexico a long, long time ago. I learned it at a NCTM conference in 1995 in Boston from her when she was still going to conferences. And it's this amazing game that you don't have to know a bit of math to play. But it has such an extraordinary mathematical structure that you could teach an entire semester course just on the game and not be done with it. So it's a doorway into mathematics through a game. Initially, it began as a single game that you play either as solitaire or with others, but there are quite a few variations on the game. We're going to teach you one we just learned.
So the premise of set is that you can see that there's various cards, and you want to find a set of cards that are all the same or all different.
So this is what the cards look like. You'll notice that there are 4 properties to these cards, right? Right? You notice that there are different colors, there are different shapes, there are different fill patterns, and there are different number of shapes on the cards. So what you're going to try to do is find a set, which is 3 cards, where each of those 4 things, shape, color, fill, and number, are either all the same across the cards or all different, but you'll consider each property independently of the other one. So you could have 2 things that are all the same, 2 things that are all different, 3 things that are all the same, 1 thing that's all. You could even have all 4 properties are all different across the 4 cards, across the 3 cards. Okay? Moving along. So it's a game. Again, no math needed, but it's about patterns. And math is a lot about patterns, right? Unfortunately, we teach math as just being something about algorithms for the most part. But math is about patterns, and this helps students attune themselves to it. This version of the game is cooperative instead of competitive. And so we love what we just learned back in June, the American Institute of Mathematics. And this is good for your brain, too. I personally find it relaxing to play this game as solitaire because it takes a great deal of focus and it sort of pushes everything else aside. And focus is an important skill we want our students to develop. Okay? All right. So I'll read a little bit of this. It's a mathematically rich game. Actual advanced research mathematics has been based upon this game. It is so rich. An entire book is written about this game, about the mathematics of set, and it's not complete. Beautiful book. I encourage you to look at it. But it was developed by a geneticist who was looking at epilepsy in German Shepherds and the genetics associated with it. And she made up some cards to sort things out. The story I heard was that she had all these cards out on the kitchen table and her husband walked by and said, "You're playing a card game." Light bulb comes on. And so a full deck looks like this. The projector is rather dim so you don't get to see, but it's a very large group of cards. There are 81 of them, 3 to the 4th power cards. And here might be a group of cards that is laid out, and there are a whole bunch of sets here. And so in the handout that we'll give you, this puzzle is there and the solution to it, because you can make 6 different sets out of this. I'll point out one for example. Here we have one. If you look at this red squiggle of 1, 2 red ovals, and 3 red diamonds is a set, because they're all the same color, they're all the same solid fill pattern on the inside, but you'll notice that the shapes are different and the number of shapes is also all different. 1, 2, 3. You couldn't have a 2, 2, 3. It has to be all different or all the same. You couldn't have 2 solids and 1 hollow, and so on. And you'll get some experience with this because in this game, you get to see all the cards at once. Okay? This is the solution. That's the one I just pointed out, but there are these other ones here. Now, if you memorize this, it makes it too easy if you're going to try to solve it on the handout. But I don't have that kind of memory. Okay? So thank you. Thanks. We're going to be playing a cooperative version where you're not racing to find sets in a group of 12 cards in front of you in a traditional game. We're going to be constructing a set universe, which looks like this. This is an example. There are thousands of set universes. This is just one set universe, where you're going to lay out the cards, starting with any 3 cards that don't make a set down in one of the corners, forming a right angle. We're going to start with that, and then you're going to build one of these squares where everything in the square, all the columns, rows, and diagonals are sets. And then you'll work from that into one of the rows or columns as if this stacks on this stacks on top of that in 3 dimensions. And ultimately, we'll try to fill the whole board, so we won't have time today. The full board is a 4-dimensional cube. It's a hypercube. And so we're going to be working hard at trying to visualize things in at least 3 dimensions. Because any row, column, and diagonal on this is a cube. It's a 3 by 3 by 1, 2, 3 cube. And that's where we're going to go with this. So we learned this in a Julia Robinson Math Festival with about 700 people at Caltech back in June in a workshop. Okay? And
So we're going to play right now.
you want to jump into this and then we'll start playing?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. So part of the organization and where it stemmed from was the idea that let's bring students together to have them enjoy mathematics together and see the beauty of it. And so one of the original camps that got started was Navajo Math Circles Camp. And so this is a short film that was done by George Cicereri, and it was actually put out in PBS. But here's a documentary of what a Navajo Math Circle is. And so this idea of a math circle. Has anybody heard of math circles? Okay, so this is the idea of playing and enjoying or enriching open-ended problems that have a really good mathematical background to them. Okay, so that is, you can see that, I think this is why this fits perfectly into Mesa, is because it promotes the idea of having students see themselves as mathematicians and away from the classroom where you have to get the answer right. This promotes a way for students to ask questions, engage with others, and so math circle problems are a wonderful way to implement them into the Mesa program. And so one of the things that we've done at Mesa before is I've started with a math circle problem. And just as students get into Mesa and engage. And so the students are seeing math right away. And it was really fun to see how the students struggled, how they thought. And it wasn't about getting the right answer. So using some of those math circle problems are a really good way to get students involved in mathematics, and especially in the after school program. And just wanted to point out, so that film I think was made in maybe 2012. And some of those students in there are actually now graduating or have graduated with STEM degrees. They participated in the camps both at Diné College where it started, and then we've now continued, or we have 2 camps actually on the Navajo Nation. Navajo Math Circles still runs one in Arizona, and then our Alliance of Indigenous Math Circle runs a math camp at Navajo Preparatory School. So, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, and you just go to the scroll down at the bottom, or use your computer. Yeah. So, we're going to go ahead and we'll start playing the set. Let's do set first, and I'll come back to this. Okay. So that's how we want you to think about what this has the potential to do. It really can enhance the Mesa program. Okay, so we're going to start playing. Now that you guys know what set is, let's have an opportunity to play. So I'm going to dim the lights again. I want to talk to you. We're going to pivot a little bit. I want to talk about.
Everyone has one? One more.
I want to talk about Math Camp and bring it back to that because this is also an excellent opportunity for us to recruit with Mesa. So each year at Navajo Prep we offer a Math Camp. It is completely free and it is, the problem is when I say math, all the kids go, no, I want to go. And so, or I'm no good at math, so it scares them away, so I need your help. But you can see it is not scary, it is awesome. We have a lot of success through our math camps. Yes, we do math sessions, and they are a collaboration of problem solving. So students break into teams, they are working collaboratively with each other and with mathematicians throughout the United States. At the end, one of the things that we offer through the camp is a preparation for a math wrangle. So a math wrangle is a debate of math problems that they've got to work on all week with their team. And it is just amazing to see students up there competing in mathematics and doing math problems. And then to hear people, yeah, like it's a sporting event. I mean, where in the world would you ever hear people clapping for a math problem that they did? And then we integrate into cultural activities in there. We have STEM activities. And we really have mentors that are coming to our program now, mentors and interns. So we're really trying to inspire that next generation of mathematicians. This is a lot to do in one day. Well, that's because we have a captive audience. We offer this at Navajo Preparatory School, which gives us the opportunity to provide housing. So it's a free residential camp for 1 week. We provide all their food and all their housing. We just need parents to drop them off and then come pick them up. So we'll take care of the rest. And so we have them basically from, they get up at 6 in the morning and we're busy with them until 8 o'clock at night. They do have some free time in there, but it is a wonderful program. So here is our next one. If you guys can help us save the date. This is typically the second week of June, second or third week of June over at Navajo Prep. I do have some flyers for you guys to take, but if you can just start getting that on your radar and out to students and really encourage them to apply when we have it open. So right now it's not open, it's just a save the date for you guys. And you can see our kids love math like Raylan. She is an awesome student that loves math. And we integrate into STEM, they're doing a Desmos activity here. And the other great thing is we do bring in the Julia Robinson Mathematics Festival, and we have a festival one day. So that's another resource for you that we can tell you more about, okay? So, and then we'll let James talk to you about what he does locally here.
Yeah, so I'm the co-founder of a group called Math Amigos out of Santa Fe. We started working in Santa Fe primarily in teacher professional development. We offer 3 workshops in Santa Fe throughout the year, Saturday workshops all day. We pay stipends to teachers. We also have been able to expand into the rest of northern New Mexico through a grant from the Landau Foundation. And so we're trying to support the development of this kind of cool math circles, math festivals, math wrangles, word problems, problem solving, puzzles, supporting everything from K through 12 level. And we also have started having 2 workshops at Northern New Mexico College as well. So we're trying to expand out. We're also working closely with groups like the Alliance of Indigenous Math Circles, STEM Santa Fe, and there's a new math teacher circle group just now starting next week, held at the University of New Mexico. A math teacher circle will be beginning on September 5th in a math science building. You can ask me if you have any questions. My email is on this handout, so if you need any information about any of these things and more of our initiatives, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I travel around the state quite a bit, so I can help support you in what you're doing. I have run mathematics components of STEAM or STEM rallies with Mesa in the past in the northern region, and I'm open to helping you out in your region as well. So this is the kind of stuff we've been doing since we started in 2017. And Donna, I think.
Yeah. So we've talked a lot about the importance of why the Alliance of Indigenous Math Circles exists. And it, one of the purposes is to really strengthen students' identity and see themselves as mathematicians. Because a lot of times they don't know that we have Indigenous mathematicians. And if you can see, we have a whole board full of Indigenous mathematicians. So this was started by Dr. Camille Young, and he has a website called indigenousmathematicians.org. And he is promoting the fact that there have been Indigenous mathematicians back for many, many years, decades. And there are a number of Indigenous mathematical researchers still working in the field and getting PhD levels. And so this comes from that site, and you can see they're just lovely people doing some really good work out in out in the community, out in native country. And so just want to make sure our students know this, that there are Indigenous mathematicians out there. And that could be, and Indigenous in this sense could also be people from their own country, their other places, their homelands. So that's what we really want to promote too, is that find that identity of who they are, and because we want to make sure that they see themselves as mathematicians. Okay, did we go up through all the slides there?
We did.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, we want to really thank Mesa for allowing us to be able to come in and be a part of this, because as I was talking with you guys, is that it's not easy, I know as a Mesa advisor, to find those math activities to support students when you have them for these 2 hours or an hour after school or whenever you have them. So you know what we did not do is to talk about the Bluebird Math Circle. Okay. So, another resource that we have for you besides doing the math camp, when the pandemic came, we had to pivot and we went to offering we created a Bluebird Math Circle newsletter. And in this newsletter, we have we always start off with an inspiration from an Indigenous community, storytelling, STEM idea, and with that then we follow it up with a mathematical activity. So this is a 2-page newsletter, and these are completely available free at our website at aimathcircles.org. And we designed them so that teachers can implement them within their classroom, or they can be used at an after-school program. They come in both color and black and white. Again, they're 2 pages, and so I'm gonna let you guys pick some out. These are just some of the issues I picked out, and I'm gonna look at a particular one. We have done a lot of our Indigenous inspirational stories come from the Navajo Nation. Since I'm in California now, back home in my tribe, we've been focusing on my tribe. So one of the things that we did is I asked my dad what he remembered about seeing his grandma make baskets. And he did remember his grandma always going out and collecting the toolies. And so we shared a story of that, and that was our inspirational quote. And then we looked at the idea of, well, look at our baskets. Our pommel baskets are world famous, and they have a lot of great mathematics in them. And so then we took that idea and said, well, why don't we play an equilateral triangle game? And so all the directions are on the back on how to play this game, and then it shows how to win. And this is as simple as it is. We give you the handouts. Play a game like this. And this is a 2-player game. They will play, and I don't have time to play today, but once they play, then you can ask those great math extension questions like, is player 1? Do you think you'll always win? Is player 2 gonna win? Let's play a couple of games, and you notice then we get into data collecting, and we're having them analyze that data and start looking. So we make these super simple, handouts are super simple, they're available all online under the resources. And if you're a teacher wanting to do these in the classroom, we put together teacher guides that are already aligned to the standards. So, and we also can we have the handouts if you're doing like a Zoom or a presentation like this. So these are available. Please look through and grab as many as you want. These are for you guys. And all of the resources are on our website at aimathcircles.org. I love this one because this one's a construction one. This looks at the beauty of mathematics within the Navajo Kogan. And so they're utilizing a construction model. So how many times do they not get construction in mathematics? We never get to that. And so they are using circles and making additional circles, but it's looking at the beauty of mathematics that the traditional Kogan was built off of. And so they have a lot of history in them, but then when you flip them over on the backside, you get a great math activity.
I have the thing if you want to do the.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So, again, aimathcircles.org/Bluebird. Everything's free, and you can print it off in color or black and white. Okay. Yes, thank you all, and we'll stay afterwards if you want to talk to us. We'll be at lunch, so please come and talk to us.